we talk about all your favorite superhero TV shows and also movies when they come out on SourceFedNERD. I am Matt Lieberman. Join me on the couch, Sam Basher, Maude Garrett, DJ Wooldridge.
Hello.
And we are talking today about Deadpool, the latest Fox release, and it is an R-rated, crazy, balls-to-the-wall, actioner, comedy. We're going to be doing a quick spoiler-free review for like the first 10 minutes, just so for those of you who haven't seen the movie yet, you can make a decision based on how we felt about whether or not you want to go see it, and then we'll get into the movie. We all saw it last night, and I think we all generally pretty enjoyed it.
Yeah, make sure you send, really quick, make sure you send your thoughts to the hashtag #SHRDeadpool so I can read them on this review show.
Yes, and if you haven't visited us on iTunes, please go and do that, okay? Your ratings and reviews make a huge difference. It really helps us out. It's how we get sponsors that keep this show on the air, okay? And it also makes us feel real nice. So, yeah, and also this show is live every Friday. If you don't normally watch it, it's live every Friday at 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so you should be watching it. Okay, Deadpool, Sam.
Spoiler-free.
Spoiler-free, just your basic impressions. How do you feel about Deadpool?
I went into this expecting it to be literal garbage. I'm sorry, I gotta be honest though, not one trailer got me excited. I love DMX though, so that was a good pull to the movie. But
dance to that.
Oh
Oops.
yeah, DMX gonna give
Sorry
it to you.
about that.
Sorry,
Gonna
that's
give it to
spoilers. I was so surprised. I loved the humor, I loved the action, and most of all, I loved the love story. Why would I expect a love story in a Deadpool movie? Nobody does. Nobody would, because that's not really a big deal in the comics that I've read. So for any of the superhero movies that have come out over the past like 10 years, that's been my favorite love story to come out of a superhero movie. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie from start to finish. There may have been a slow part in the middle, maybe, when we got to some origin stories, but overall, it's up there from one of my favorite superhero movies of the year. I know there's a bunch to come out. They're all looking pretty good, but this will still be high up on the list.
For me, I think what the trailers did was set the tone really well. They were going to take the piss out of themselves. They were going to have a lot of humor. It was going to be very, very cheeky. And so that's kind of what I expected, and it delivered so well. What we didn't really know was the story arc, and I think they didn't go in a chronological order. They kind of jumped around with where they were at, go back a little bit, and that was really refreshing to see in a movie, I feel. You're right, the love story was a great part of it. I love Ryan Reynolds in this role, and hearing him say that he would play Deadpool for the rest of his life makes me very, very happy indeed. We know this is a Marvel movie, but it's nothing like anything we've seen before.
Ooh.
And basically, you just want to be a little immature 18-year-old sitting in there laughing at every joke. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. DJ.
I thought the people that made this movie gave a good old college try.
Do you want to elaborate?
No, I thought it was fun. I thought it could have been more irreverent, more regular. I think at its core, this is a movie that pokes fun at a lot of superheroes movies and does things pretty much exactly the same way, except they say things like fucking shit.
And there were tits.
You
guys see those?
Briefly.
And I thought Ryan Reynolds was really good in it. I thought it did a good job. It did that method of we're just going to throw a ton of jokes out there, knowing some will hit and some won't. But I thought the hit ratio was actually in the positive for these guys. It hit pretty well. I thought the origin stuff was crazy boring. I thought the movie got real bogged down in the middle, and I just stopped kind of caring. But they tried some interesting stuff with the pacing to try and switch it up. I don't think it worked in their favor.
Whoa, really quick. Comment section, calm the fuck down.
Yeah,
really
right,
quick.
man.
DJ's just sharing an opinion about a movie.
Seriously.
So that we're all on the same page that we're still talking about a movie. Chill.
You know what? DJ's not the only one that, didn't worship this movie.
Yeah.
Our very own Steve Zaragoza took to Twitter straight away saying that it was like the fifth draft.
He said it was
Ted
draft
2.
4 of Ted 2.
And he also said that if Hot Topic, the T-shirt, had a movie, this would be it.
I would give it to some clarity. I'd give it a solid C. Give it, if we go with our normal number ratings, I'd give it a 7.5. There's parts of it I really liked. There's parts of it I thought that were very derivative, and I wish it had steered into the swerve a little bit more and been. I thought Kick-Ass was a better deconstruction R-rated superhero movie.
True.
The
and
first
also,
one, not the second one. The
when you
second
go
one,
see
Kick-Ass is
any
garbage.
movie, you shouldn't fully take in someone else's review because you're going to set your expectations to where they're at. And if we're going to give it a 10 out of 10 and you go there and it's not going to live up to that, you're going to be disappointed. And so we need a balance.
There's a spectrum.
Yeah.
So here's where I'm at, and I feel like I understand some of DJ's points. I understand a lot of what you guys are saying. For me, definitely the flashback stuff is once he, I don't want to. I can't spoil anything. I guess I would just say the middle of the movie is slow. It opens as strong or stronger than just about any superhero movie I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
It very quickly establishes a sense of humor and a tone that is very much its own. The action in the beginning is very well choreographed.
Crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's violent. It's exactly what a Deadpool movie is supposed to look and sound like to me. And I'm saying that as somebody who, has read a few comics with Deadpool in it, but I'm not a huge Deadpool fan. I think anyone who loves Deadpool is going to love the crap out of this movie. Yeah. And I think that even just from the opening titles alone, you will immediately know whether or not this movie is for you.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I laughed harder at some jokes than I have at anything in a long time. I think if you want to see this movie, even if you're just thinking about seeing it, you should go see it in theaters to watch it with the crowd because I think it's the kind of movie that plays better with a large room of people. I do think that ultimately it doesn't quite stick the landing. Like, I want it to do more, and I think a lot of that comes from the $7 or $8 million that Fox slashed from the budget 48 hours before they greenlit the movie. Let's be clear about something. Fox never wanted to greenlight this movie. They never wanted to make this movie. Fans had to demand this movie over the span of years. Tim Miller had to put his own money into making a proof of concept trailer that people had to watch millions of times before they even put any money into this movie. And what this movie did for me more than anything was get me really excited about Deadpool 2. Because it shows that they have a very strong grasp of the character. They have a great sense of humor. I think the writing, at least in terms of the comedy, is great. And I think that the love story really works well and is twisted, but at the same time, really sweet.
Really sweet.
And it says to me that this team is going to make a much better movie when you give them 20 more million.
I'm a little concerned. I am not a big believer that money begats creativity. And so the fact that they were like, because they said when the money was cut, oh man, it made us make the movie a lot leaner. This is a lean movie for you? Because honestly, if you've seen the trailer, you know everything about the movie.
No, you don't.
You don't know you don't know a lot of the best jokes.
Yeah, but the basic overall premise, the origin that takes about an hour, they could have summed up in about 5 minutes.
Well, here's the thing. So we were all at the same screening.
We're getting close to getting towards the spoiler review
but
part.
We were all at the same screening, and my girlfriend Denise came as well, and she has no familiarity with Deadpool. She knew nothing about the movie going in other than the posters with the guy in the red suit on it. And she said that all of the origin story stuff that's throughout the movie, she really liked it, and she needed it to understand what was going on. So for people who know who Deadpool is, the origin stuff might not be as fun as some of the other things. But I think that it's a necessary step for this movie. I think maybe they could have found a way to streamline it a little bit.
Maybe. It's still a pretty lean movie for what, at least in my opinion. But okay, let's get to some reviews, like some general reviews, so we can get into the spoiler parts. I'd give this movie, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. I'll give it a 9 out of 10 for what it is. I'm not saying that against like the Revenant, just for Deadpool, 9 out of 10.
I give it a good 8.5.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. And I think that this is an unconventional love story, which is usually like the love interest is just helpless, but she's got kick, she's got bite. So
she's a badass.
Yeah.
She's a badass. And oh my God, I love her. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I agree. So I really 8.5.
Solid C. I think this doesn't feel like a cash in to me. I feel like everybody involved in the movie generally wanted to make this movie, wanted to make a good movie, and I appreciate that. I feel like there's a better movie in here. I've seen better versions of this type of thing done before.
Yeah.
Ooh, really quick, there's a fun question. DJ, would you give this Deadpool, the one you saw in this movie, a sequel?
I'm with Matt. I'm actually really interested to see a sequel because we've gotten through all the boring shit. Usually the origin, superhero movies have gotten super hung up on origins. The origin is the part to get to the good stuff.
Yeah.
The origin is, Deadpool's origin didn't exist when he first existed.
You can count the amount of superheroes who have a good origin story on one hand.
Yeah. Guy has cancer, wants to get rid of it. Hitman has cancer, wants to get rid of it, goes to experiment, gets powers. That's it. That's all you need to get to the good stuff. So now that we've gotten all that away, I'm really interested to see the good stuff. I'm not the spoilers. I'm not going to say, but
and
I'm excited for the sequel.
Yeah,
I'm
for
interested
me,
to see the sequel.
for me, I'll give it an 8. The humor is really strong. Ryan Reynolds gives one of the best performances of his career. I think that some of the action is really good. I do think that ultimately the movie's a little sloppy, and I think a lot of that comes from budget and timing. Like there's some things that are never explained, and they don't really care to explain them. It's a movie that's not concerned with being a movie. It's just concerned with throwing as much Deadpool as they can at you before the money runs out. And I think that maybe that's what the first Deadpool movie is supposed to be.
I kind of think that if you love Ryan Reynolds but you hated Green Lantern, watch this movie because you'll love it.
Sure.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good barometer for that movie.
Yeah.
Awesome. You want to hop into some spoilers?
Yeah. So if you haven't seen the movie, we'll give you about 5 seconds to get the F out because we're going to talk spoilers. We're going to talk openly about this movie. So if you don't want to hear about anything that happens in it, you need to leave right away.
Yes, we're going to go into spoiler territory, and the movie has, what is it, out today?
Yeah, it's out today. And
So
then,
if you
and
haven't
then
seen it yet, it's likely.
go see the movie, come back and watch the rest of this video, and then leave comments.
And we'll make annotations to make it easy for you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, I mean, that's irrelevant
Okay.
now because you're watching it.
Awesome. I got a quick tweet from Drew Boss Henry at Bruiser97. Deadpool was balls to the walls fantasticular. That was a hard thing to say.
Oh, boy.
You know what? I'm on board with you, Drew.
Oh, someone called me out. Mike said, Maud, you know you wanted to give it a 9.10. You may be right, bugger.
Yeah.
So we're in spoiler territory right
All right,
now.
we're in spoiler territory right now.
Gags I really liked. I liked seeing Ryan Reynolds get butt fucked. I thought.
Excuse me, Peg.
Pegged. I thought that was really
On
great.
National Women's Day.
On National Women's Day. I like that, and I liked how I liked the relationship they had. Although I didn't like they made a joke of like, oh, we don't want you to just be a sex object in this movie. Can you guys tell me anything about that? I don't even remember Myrna Baccarin's character's name.
Vanessa.
Vanessa. Can you tell me something about Vanessa as a character?
Vanessa
Super
the
nerd.
Undresser. Wait a second.
Yeah.
Super nerd. She was really she corrected him on Star Wars trivia, and she
Yeah.
knew about Voltron and like all the references he could make.
Maybe that's why I
she's
like it.
basically like a. I see both points because she's kind of like a prototypical geek boy fantasy.
Yeah.
Reformed prostitute
Yeah.
/ stripper who knows everything about Star Wars, likes Voltron,
But-
and is
Hey,
kind of a
point
badass.
is-
She wasn't a stripper. She was a waitress at that strip
No,
club.
no. She said
I'm
she.
sorry,
No, she
she's
said
a
she was.
waitress.
Wait, yeah. She,
Hold
but
on,
she
they
was a
met
hooker.
and she gave a price for him.
No.
Yeah.
Later.
Later,
She was
but
a waitress.
anyway, I liked their interplay. I liked them trying to one up each other's backstory. T.J. Miller, always great. I loved Baby Hand.
Baby Hand.
Baby
my
Hand
God,
was
yeah.
great,
Fantastic.
and
It's
I
gonna
liked
feel
him.
so big
I
on
liked
a
him
baby
trying
hand.
to beat up Colossus. That whole
Yeah.
sequence
Yeah.
where he busts
Oh
himself.
my God.
Also, Ryan Reynolds' physical performance in this, his projecting physically through the costume, really good. The
That's
little things he would do
really
with his
hard to
hands,
do.
Favorite gag?
Really good.
Favorite gag is when Ajax gets away, when he pulls himself through. That was fun. But when he pulls himself out of the katana or whatever, and he goes, that with the eyes going back, he's like, and then like he goes on a rant and tears down the X-Men. He's like, go and live on your Neverland ranch with your like, and then he makes fun of Professor X. Also, McAvoy or Stewart.
Yeah, that was
great.
best.
That was
I
fucking
love
great.
that too.
Well, what we're going to do is talk about whether we think Ryan Reynolds did the character justice, our favorite moments of the movie, the gripes that we had with this movie, what we'd want to see in the Deadpool sequel, and our thoughts on the origin love story. So
We'll
we've
blow
heard
through
about all
these.
your favorite parts
These.
of the movie.
Let's do favorite moments because I feel like we talked a bit about does it do the character justice in the spoiler free, and I'm sure that'll come through.
And I think
throughout.
I vote yes. He
Yes.
did.
Yeah.
He did in a fantastic job of bringing Deadpool to life.
Yeah, I think every frame was crafted with love for this character. Now, in terms of favorite moments, I think DJ listed a lot of them. Same for me. I mean, Baby Hand is pretty incredible. Blind Owl, really funny, really inappropriate. The joke about they couldn't afford a real X-Men for this movie, which is 100% a dig at them slashing the budget.
Did you hear
and
that
I
was
fucking
ad-lib?
love it.
That wasn't in the script.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
They were running out of time,
Yeah.
and he just ad-libbed
That makes me so happy.
Yeah.
That line, and when TJ Miller was like, "Oh, there's a scary Grim Reaper looking guy over there," it's like you should go talk to him. It might further the plot.
Yeah.
that
Oh,
was
yeah.
so that was
all
so
the breaking
funny.
the fourth wall. It was basically like Ferris Bueller, like on heat. It was so fun.
The Ferris Bueller joke at the end.
They literally do a
Exactly.
Ferris
They
Bueller.
literally did. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was so good. For me, I definitely loved the comic book element where it was punching Colossus, and his hand broke. So he tried again until he was like 3 limbs broken and like completely ridiculous. Getting shot up the butt, like that kind of stuff with a gun. That kind of stuff, you know,
With a few
actually
things.
was comic book style for me.
Star did mention one thing to me today that does bother me about the pegging scene because it was really funny. But
What bothered you about the pegging scene?
no. It was really funny, but he says no, and then she keeps going.
We
and
don't
so
know what their
unless
safe
it's-
word is.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
you're
Later,
kinda
We don't know what
digging
their
he
safe
says
word
something
is.
that makes me think that they would have a safe word.
Yeah, he said-
but
he
it's
makes a
not
couple safe word
established in
jokes.
that
What was it
scene.
again?
So
Pork and beans.
technically, it's
Yeah.
no longer consensual.
No,
Okay,
it's fine.
it's
Listen.
yeah, okay, you
No,
can
anyway.
dig.
Am I
you can
like
dig
I'm
Look,
not
you know
gonna
what?
go
You know what?
SJW
You know what?
on it,
The-
but
the
it just
point-
like
the point. Your
Don't dig
point
in
is
there.
solid. I think to go down this road leads us into some dangerous minefield territory. We
Yeah.
should go on with other
That's
things
fine.
we like
Good.
about this movie.
DJ
No,
has
I
a
agree.
point. Zamboni death right there.
Zamboni death was
Eleanor
really
Rountley,
good.
I think, right there. Right.
Yeah. Ahmed Franz says the Zamboni joke was stolen from Austin Powers, though.
Oh.
Which wasn't a
Oh.
Zamboni. That was a steamroller.
Come
Completely
on.
different.
Oh,
completely
yeah,
different.
yeah, that was very funny.
It was so funny. It was like, was it sexist to not kill you? Is it sexist to kill you?
Yeah.
Like,
It's
that
so
was very
murky.
funny. What was, I forgot my favorite. Oh, Francis. And he's
Yeah.
like, he stole his name from the dish soap. yeah.
Ajax.
Yeah, Ajax, yeah.
That and when
You
he
guys have
spells out
Ajax here?
Francis
Yeah.
with all the bodies.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the ass thing.
Yeah.
That was
for the
fantastic.
letter I.
And favorite part, Negasonic. Like she could have some lines that were kind of funny. I like that he kind of tore down her character. He's like, "Oh, you're just gonna be they're gonna be long silences with you, then a mean comment followed by more silence."
So which is it? Long silence or mean comment? She's like, you really put me in a box here.
And then I love her power when she launches him with the plane wing. Because I got a little early screening to see this. I freaked out. I was like, "Oh, the guy, that's so fucking cool! That's like a real superhero thing to do."
I thought she was a little underused.
She
Yeah.
was.
Honestly, I thought I would have
it was a
traded in
Deadpool
Colossus
movie.
and Negasonic Warhead for more of the cab driver.
Oh yeah,
I thought
really?
the cab driver was great.
Hold on,
He was
he's in the
so
ATT
funny.
Carn
commercials,
Sony?
right?
Is he? That guy? I don't know. Yeah.
He's a really cool guy. I met him a few times.
No, I liked him. I thought he was great.
No, but like one thing that did disturb me though was that he actually did kidnap the guy. Like it
That
led
was
to
so
one of my
funny.
favorite exchanges in the movie where he's like, "How
That's
dare
bad.
you? That was awesome. You blah blah blah. Kill him." Like that was really great. But like the idea that this guy actually went and kidnapped somebody.
Well,
was
this is
kind
where
of
he's
weird.
not. Deadpool's not a
It's a
hero.
movie.
I know.
Well,
he's not.
honestly, I wish they could have. I wish they leaned into that more because it's like I'm not a hero. Before he's Deadpool, he's basically doing the Hitman equivalent of saving cats out of trees.
Yeah.
Like he's not. He's a hero. Like he's not really that edgy. For all this movie's posturing, it's not really that edgy.
It is for the genre. That's it.
No, it is for a Marvel property, but for it's not. I feel like they could have committed more.
For a product from a major studio and from a major comic book company, I would say it is deeply subversive because Kick-Ass was an independent film that got picked up for wide release. Like let's
Really?
be clear. Yeah.
Oh, it was? I didn't know that.
It was an independent film. It was completely independently financed. So, like, this is the first time that anything like this that is commenting on the glut of superhero movies is produced from one of the biggest studios anywhere, from one of the biggest comic book companies anywhere. I think that that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, because Fox is drowning.
Drowning.
They needed to take a risk, and it paid off. So there you go. They needed this. This was either going to kill them or be the Phoenix and revive them.
How did we feel about
Marvel joke.
Colossus finally really being Colossus on screen?
His
for the
arms
first
looked a
time?
little short. Just me?
no. These arms look. His proportions look strange to me.
I mean, he's a metal.
He looks like a
man.
comic
He's
book
a-
character.
He does, and like,
Why does everyone want to punch him in the bits, though? In the
'cause
pork
it's-
and beans.
Oh my God! When he started like touching his
oh,
dick.
your poor wife. Yeah, that was so funny. She might be dead. Let's be honest. She
Is
might
he married
be dead.
in the comics?
He's not.
No.
He's not. He has
So
a
it's
long-standing
not a reference
relationship
to-
with Kitty Pryde, and also he's not metal all the time.
Jesus.
Yeah, but
He's
like,
not metal all the
No,
time.
Well,
he-
I mean, she can always just phase
he's not
around
metal
him
all
if
the
it ever
time.
gets
He-
too
Yeah.
painful.
we'll have a separate podcast talking about the
How
physics
Colossus
and the
has sex with
anatomy
Deadpool.
of
Colossus sex?
having sex. Yes, because there's a couple of mutants like him.
Yeah.
Grapes. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, there's lots of bare ass in this movie.
Lots of
Ooh,
bare
that's
ass.
a nice butt, though.
No.
Can I
And
say
you
that
see
without
you see
being
his bits at one point.
opposite to
you see his
feminine?
dangler, not like full frontal, but
Yeah.
you see it when he's
You see it,
flipping
right?
over.
Oh, you were looking?
Yeah.
Oh no, he was. We were all looking.
We were all looking.
We were all looking. Everyone in that theater was
Oh
like,
yeah.
There it is.
Okay.
there.
I like
It's a dingleberry.
the naked fight in the fire.
Yeah.
You're like, all right.
There it is.
Gripes with the movie, guys. What do you think? Like we talked about earlier, the budget was slashed for Deadpool. I would like to see what could have been in there. I heard a rumor from like talking around the office that there was a plan for a giant firefight scene with like guns when he got his duffel bag the second time.
Yes.
But that had to be cut, so they
He
changed
left
the
his
bit.
duffel bag
There
in
you
the
go.
car.
Yeah, which I'm like, it fits with the story, but seeing a crazy fight where he has to go through all the guns that he has would be really cool.
Another one of the cuts that they had, Angel Dust was actually 3 villains.
Yeah.
They were going to
Yeah.
be 3 different villains.
And instead
but-
it was just Gianna Carano.
Yes,
So we
and
would
I
have
said
had
Carrero in my
3
video, and I'm really
underdeveloped
sorry.
villains instead of 1 underdeveloped villain. We really
Yes.
missed out.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a
Oh,
lot.
2. Technically, we have 2 underdeveloped villains.
It's the underdeveloped
But his
part of
dimples.
it that
He was the prettiest
Yeah.
of the end credits are right. He is the dreamiest of the 3 of them.
Oh my goodness. He's a bit David Beckham when he opens his mouth. It's like, but you're so pretty.
the thing about this movie that did bother me is that there was a lack of development in the plot. The only part of the plot that is developed is the love story between Wade and Vanessa, and it works really well. But I don't understand necessarily what this shadowy organization is. I guess they're shipping super soldiers to other countries and terrorists and stuff. Why is
okay.
there a helicarrier at the end that doesn't make any sense?
That's just a tease, I think. I think that's
That's
just
just a
a
gag.
tease.
It's just a dig at the helicarrier?
Yeah.
So why do terrorists have a helicarrier? That doesn't make any
No,
goddamn
they're just-
All
sense.
have them.
No, they're just making a base on an old abandoned one. Maybe.
Oh,
You know, an old abandoned
An old
helicarrier.
Yeah,
abandoned
you know.
helicarrier.
There's a bunch of those
I
in
think
Vancouver.
the one, obviously, I listed some of my. I thought the origin story was boring and could have been excised completely. I think there's about 30. This would have made a really great 30-minute pilot instead of
A full movie.
a full movie. Although less than 2 hours, thank God.
Yeah.
Also had an honest to God ending. Star Wars
Oh,
actually
damn.
ended the fucking
pay
movie.
that.
They
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Actually ended on a point that plot had been developing the whole movie. Something that also kind of bothered me. I get Deadpool. I like fourth wall breaks. I think if you're writing this movie and you're writing the character Deadpool, it is your responsibility to understand his perspective. And so that requires knowing, since Deadpool breaks the fourth wall, actually understanding what he knows. So if he knows that there are X-Men movies that have Patrick Stewart and James McAvoy, does he know he's Ryan Reynolds, even though he makes Ryan Reynolds jokes about Ryan Reynolds like he's a different person? And why is he making fourth wall breaking jokes before he's Deadpool?
Oh, I saw an article on
It
this.
took me out of the movie because it was just jokes to be jokes. And to be fair, they were funny jokes. The Patrick Stewart and James McAvoy was funny. The joke about them not being able to hire another X-Men is funny. I just didn't. I like it when I wish I believed that the writers knew what Deadpool's perspective on that stuff was, other than it just being a funny joke.
I'm going to respectfully
I saw an
disagree.
article on it. It said it was just a movie. Because it's just a movie at the end of the day. Because there's nothing. Because the whole
Yeah, but-
character doesn't make sense in the comics. Like you told me about one comic which was really interesting, where Deadpool they explore the fact that he's insane.
Yeah.
he's clinically insane, and even though he's a joke, it's sad.
But I
But-
thought it would have been better if it was something like Abed from Community, where he thinks he's in a sitcom, so he makes jokes about sitcoms, and we
Right.
as an audience
No,
he's
that's
kind of right.
Right.
But the rest of the world, he's insane, but he's not breaking the reality of the show. I think that's a smarter way of handling it. I feel like I feel like this movie overall could have been cleverer. It was funny. It could have been clever.
I think we'll get that in the sequel. I think
We'll
they'll really
see.
hone that. This was more of a test. This was the risk. This was like seeing what sticks, what doesn't.
I find clever better than funny.
I think
this
that
is funny then.
there's beauty in both clever and funny, and there's a place for both of them. I think that Deadpool as a character and Deadpool's audience, it's not about being clever. It's about being as direct, blunt, gross, and funny as possible.
And, you know, every once in a while, we like that. I kind of sometimes just want it because it's just like you get witty, whatever.
Ahmed
Quips.
Faraz said Fat Gandalf, and that was really, really funny.
That was
that
great.
was a
That
good
was.
bit.
Yeah, when she grabbed his nuts and called him Fat Gandalf, I really thought it was funny.
I giggled. I like the Liam Neeson joke when he was like,
The
yeah,
Liam
at some
Neeson
point,
joke's really
Took me a second.
yeah, at some point he's like, gotta just be a bad parent, right? After three movies.
in, he's just got to be a bad.
Really quick after, and we got an end credit scene where he's like, go home, whatever.
Yeah.
Like also Cable.
Yep.
Was announced to be in the
Cable.
second movie, which is going to be awesome. He's like,
Please
we don't
God,
even.
thank you.
Instead, it could be Dolph Lundgren, it could be anybody with a flat top. That's all we need for
Yeah.
for Cable. What do you guys want to see in the sequel?
Ooh,
I never got my gripe.
what's your
I'm
gripe?
sorry. I'm sorry.
Gripe away.
Really,
There's
really,
only a limited time
I
left.
just don't know whether it's petty or not. And my gripe is we are dealing with mutants yet again. But did
Yeah.
you notice that like 5 out of 6 of the powers was just strength?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ajax's power. He's got enhanced reflexes. I don't
And
know. He
no
lifted
pain.
that off the ground.
He lifted a few people off the
Yeah.
ground
That's
with
the thing.
ease.
Guys, it's just because you
Necrotic,
can't feel any
super
pain.
strength.
He can't feel that his muscles are straining when he lifts up the. No, it doesn't make any sense.
That's yeah. I think they could have had a lot more fun with that. Like get a mutant that you've got Negasonic who was fantastic, and he was like that was kind of like whoa powers again.
Yeah.
If he's
Give me that a
Ajax,
little-
give him scrubbing bubbles power.
Right?
Everything's clean.
Science.
They come out of his
That is science.
They
Anyway,
scrub him
that's,
clean.
that was my gripe. I don't know if anyone agrees or not. That's all.
No.
Okay. Let's. What was the next
For the
topic?
sequel, what
What
would
we
you
wanna
like to
see.
see?
I would like to see a crazy time traveling adventure with Cable and Deadpool across history in the future, being ridiculous and fucking shit up.
I kind of want, and this is a stretch, a Deadpool core. I think that'd be really cool because in the comics there is from the multiverse a bunch of different Deadpools come together. You got like Lady Deadpool or female, whatever you call her, and then Dogpool and Kid Deadpool and
Headpool.
and Headpool, who's a zombie, which is fucking amazing. So I would like to see that. That might be a little hard. All right, people have been sending me tweets. I got wrapped up in the
Deadpool
conversation.
I think I'd like in the sequel, I'd like an X-Force. I think with Deadpool as a
Yeah.
centric character, but having kind of more concrete characters around him. I mean, before anything else, I want Idris Elba as Bishop. Like, that's just where my heart
Oh,
is
wow.
blooming. But if we do have a Cable, I think Eric Dane, who was McSteamy.
McSteamy, he was the second one on
He's
Grey's Anatomy.
He's super salt over Pepper now, and I think he could make a great Cable. And I think he's kind of got the charisma. Well, let's just wash over the fact that he's already been in X-Men. He was like the Multiple Man. What was that guy?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I
Multiple
think
Man.
yeah, that guy.
Yeah, multiple man. Who's a
the
great
one-
character, underused in the movies, but a really cool character.
Yeah, but now that he's older, he would make a great Cable. But can we also please get X-23? Can we also please get Domino in there? Can we get like some kick-ass female mutants?
I would love to see Domino. I want a Cable for this movie. I think Deadpool works really well when he has somebody to play off of.
Yes.
So I'm stoked about the idea of seeing Cable. Honestly, I'd like him to still be with Vanessa, and she doesn't need to be part of the adventures, kidnapped, whatever. Deadpool actually has a healthy home life.
Yeah.
Outside of his weird, crazy adventures. I think that'd be cool.
Oh, okay. I would like Wolverine also, which kind of leads me to this tweet. Tyler Holmelvig at Eskimo Ulu wrote, I like the Wolverine Origins Deadpool reference with the action figure. The
Yeah.
action figure of his character from
Which
Wolverine
really,
Origins.
seeing the full costume here, which looked really great in this movie, and then seeing that action figure, like, man,
Yeah.
he was real garbage in that movie.
Yes.
Real
He was real
Why
bad
don't we
in
show
that
you a mouth up? I
movie.
don't think that's going to be a good idea.
That's a
You know
bad
what?
idea.
Compared to X-Men Origins Wolverine, Deadpool's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
11 out of 10.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, yeah, you can compare a lot
Yeah,
to that.
yeah,
but,
exactly.
someone said Carnage would be good, but they couldn't do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Marvel,
That'd be
Sony.
weird. We're going in a weird direction. Then.
regular Marvel's already paying a shit ton for Spider-Man, so
Yeah.
they can't do
Someone
that.
asked in the chat, it's already scrolled away, but it was like, of course we all want to see more X-Men in the next movie, but would they be allowed to be in an R-rated movie? Yes, they would. Yes,
You know what? I think that Colossus, with his underutilization, I think that's why he was allowed to be used here. I think it would surprise me if Fox wasn't picky about what X-Men they allowed in.
Oh,
here.
is that because he wasn't made of whatever that metal was? He was made of cardboard.
What?
He was so boring.
Oh.
Who?
Colossus in the
Colossus?
original X-Men movie.
Oh, in the
I
original
thought he was
Daniel
kinda-
Cudmore?
I thought he was kind of boring in this movie.
Well, that was kind of the point. He was
Yeah.
supposed to be boring, and
He's
that he was the
counterpoint.
foil for,
Yeah.
The straight
for
man.
He was a
Deadpool.
good heroic.
He was
villain.
chaotic lawful.
I liked his hero. I
But
liked
here's
his
the
hero
thing.
speeches.
Neither X-person, neither Colossus nor Negasonic Teenage Warhead
Swore?
swore. They didn't do anything that was R-rated.
Yeah.
So to me, that says that any X-person could be in
Could
these
show up.
movies. They just won't do that content.
True.
No.
And we got a tweet here about the Colossus scene that was actually my favorite from Gilness Allen, or Alan Gilness, really quick. Let me move that. They wrote, I adored when Colossus pointed out the nip slip. Oh, no,
Oh,
you're
that
so
was
sweet.
great.
Yeah.
That was, and
Sweet.
that was a
That
good
was
point because
very
I was like,
funny.
after you a girl and a guy or two girls or whatever, they're fighting and like, whatever, you have a little nip slip. And, like, he was such a gentleman.
Yeah.
He just like, oh, you got a little.
No.
Then they went back to fighting.
Yeah.
And then they went, and then she went for a nut shot, which was kind of a.
That's a
She
low
was
blow.
real
Yeah.
mean.
I'd
I'd also like to see Negasonic
Hello.
Teenage Warhead back.
Yeah.
Why not?
She's great.
Yeah.
I want to see her pop up in a real
low.
X-Men film.
Maybe. You know what? I thought it would have been cool with the fact that the X-Men movies are taking place in different decades, 70s, 60s, 70s, and now 80s, if Deadpool had been set in the 90s.
I kind of, well, I guess it wasn't, but it would have been cool if it was.
Just because he's such a 90s character.
Yeah.
Or like have the X-Force movie
And all
be
the
in the 90s.
music is from the
something.
90s. The music in this movie is awesome.
Love it. Hey, yeah,
I'm on a shoot, baby.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Summit
That's my
Koala
karaoke song.
wrote, they never show us what happened to the taxi driver and his cousin. Do you think we'll get him in the sequel?
That guy's probably dead. Did you see that trunk?
Yeah.
he got screwed
yeah,
up.
yeah.
But he
No.
was screaming.
We might see Dopinder in prison.
Yeah, no, I want Topanga back. He should be driving the time machine that Cable. I know they probably don't travel
I think
through time
that's a
machines.
great
but
idea.
But
Great idea.
I want more of
Let's
him.
do it.
Also, Negasonic did kill a few dudes. Remember when she did it next to the car and the car squished
Yeah,
those
well.
dudes?
Oops.
Listen,
X-Men
like,
killed
Yeah, that is
somebody.
an ex-person who killed people.
like
Straight
X-Men
up.
haven't been killing people since the first movie.
Yeah, but Colossus made such a big deal about like not killing them, blah blah blah.
Yeah, and they only kill like I don't know, like mutants. So
You know.
they're like soldiers.
Oh, the Rob Liefeld reference in the
Oh, yeah,
beginning.
in
was
the
Robert
great.
coffee
and-
cup at the
and,
top?
Actually, my favorite reference, like shout out to fans, was Bob. Bob!
Yeah,
Because Bob, the Hydra agent from the comics, like, oh, Bob from
Oh, is that what that
Jacksonville.
is?
That's what that is.
Oh.
Is Bob the Hydra agent?
Uh-huh.
It was
They're
so
friends?
good,
They're
and he
friends?
just knocks out. Yeah, he was Deadpool's sidekick through a lot of his comics. Bob
Yeah.
the
That's
Hydra agent.
But they
hilarious.
can't
Yeah.
call him Hydra Bob in this
Yeah,
because
so
of
he was
rights
just
issues-
Mercenary
issues.
Bob
Yeah.
from
Right.
Jacksonville.
Mercenary Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was everyone's favorite joke? Do you have one in particular? Because we can read out a
Baby
few in the
hand.
comments, which was
Yeah.
great.
Oh, please
Did
send
that
them.
remind anyone else of "Take my strong hand, child"? My
Yeah, it
strong
did, it
hand.
did.
Yeah.
I hid 12 tons of cocaine next to the cure for blindness. Good luck.
That one was amazing.
Yeah.
That was a great joke. Yeah, let's do our sign offs because we got to wrap up, and then as these tweets start rolling in, we'll read a few of them.
Oh, the
Okay.
Stanley cameo.
Oh, the Stanley cameo.
Oh, and
That was
he
good.
said that is his favorite cameo
Wonder why
in
that
the
is.
movie. Wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder why he was your favorite, you old pervert. All right.
Stan Lee,
Talk about
icon
Stanley like
Stan Lee.
What is that picture on the Felix machine?
What is that picture? Oh, our friend, our PA Zach, and our graphic designer Star put together a Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe homage with Deadpool Kills Sora Superhero Roundup.
And it's
yes,
amazing.
DJ does
I'm
look like
gonna
Vandal
put it in
Savage
my
a little bit
house.
in that.
He does.
Yeah, just a bit.
Alright.
I see it.
You guys
Just
are
a
bearded.
You just look a little immortal, I guess.
Oh,
If
that's-
you
that's
guys
a bad
want
thing.
that, I don't know how to help you.
Yeah.
Go ahead and
folks are saying
screenshot that.
IKEA duffel bag, the second Hugh Jackman mask.
Oh,
Nice, which he had to have worn through the whole final fight.
stapled.
Severely, severely limiting his vision.
Yeah, those aisles were not nearly.
He
big
still
enough.
did a great job.
Yeah. All right, we got to wrap up. Sam, where can people find you?
On Twitter at Sam Basher.
And Maud
At Maud Garrett on all things fun.
and DJ.
DJ Talks Trash, Twitter and Instagram.
Cool. You can find me on Twitter at Matt Lieberman, MattLieberman. You should check out my channel, youtube.com/Matt Lieberman. I'm putting up a video about The Walking Dead on Monday. It's why Rick needs to die on The Walking Dead to make it great again.
Okay.
It's outsider opinion. You
Shots
can check
fired.
that out. Yeah, shots fired. Thank you all so much for watching. Go to iTunes, rate and review the show. Leave some nice comments. Leave some likes. And we will see you next Friday, 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Langley M. Neely writes...